What's up, guys? Mike Ranfone back with another corrective complex. Last week we released one for the hamstrings. If you haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube or our Facebook page. And if you don't know anything about corrective complexes, check out our article on tnation.com. It's called Corrective Complexes. So today we're going to be doing part one of an upper body sequence focusing on the anterior structures. So before we get going, we usually like to test or assess where we're at in terms of posture or whatever we're looking at. So today we're going to look at our posture. Is it rounded? Is it hunched? And if you do, then you're almost certain you should benefit from, or you could and should be doing this exercise and benefit from it. If you're not quite sure, we're going to have to test it in some way. So grab a stick, grab a pipe, grab a jump rope, whatever, and try to get some overhead movement. Because our overhead movement is going to be directly related to what we're working on today. All right? So if this is what you look like, you're going to try to go overhead, and you kind of get stuck here, and you start to tilt back to try to get the bar over your head, you're probably restricted somewhere in the front or even on the side in your lats. Okay? So if that's the case, if you can't get a clean overhead movement going, try this complex out. All right, so the first things first, we're going to roll out our pecs. Rolling out the pecs helps clean up some overhead movement. All right, so go ahead, get a PVC pipe, roll the crap out of your pecs, your pec minor. If you need to do some touch-up work, grab a lacrosse ball, do the same areas. Focus on right underneath the collarbone into your subclavian area. All right, so do that on each side for about a minute. After that, we're going to mobilize those same tissues, so we're still looking at the pec minor, get to a split stance position, all right, cap the top, grab the bottom, all right, so we're going to use an AIS technique to open up the pec a little bit, all right, so I'll show you from the side first. So the idea is that we're going to be mobilizing the pec, all right, but what I want to do is I want to open up from the back. So I'm actually pulling to my end range of motion, all right, and then assisting back with a 1 to 2 second count, all right, so it looks like this. So this is right about where I end, and now I'm going to use my offhand to push back a little bit more. And of course I'm going to do that on each side, about 10 on each side. The last component is the activation component, where we're going to try to turn on an antagonistic muscle. So we're going to do that by anterior pull-aparts. Grab a band, parallel to the ground, lock everything out, and we're going to try to squeeze and retract the shoulder blades until they're pinching one another. All right, come back, slow, controlled, deliberate movement. All right, do that about 12 to 15 times. All right, so that's the complex we're going to do of the anterior structures of the upper body. Part two will encompass how the thoracic spine, the lats, and everything posterior kind of interacts with one another. All right, thank you very much.